And welcome back to Subculture on centralcoastradio.com. Well, there is a brand new theatre production coming to Melbourne called Bleached, and this is a show that I cannot wait to go and check out personally. And we thought today to find out a little bit more about Bleached, we would actually get the playwright behind the production on the phone to talk all about it. So welcome to the program, Laura Collins.
Thanks, David. Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. Now, Laura, tell us a little bit about Bleached. What can people expect when they head along to check out this theatrical production?
Yeah, sure. Well, it's a play that's primarily about climate change, but audiences can expect something that's really funny, really bizarre, and a lot of physical theatre as well. As theatre makers, our whole philosophy is the best way to make change is to do it through smiles and laughter. So I think audiences can expect a really good time.
Now, I understand that the idea for this production came to you during the kind of positive impacts that the lockdowns from COVID-19 had on our planet. Tell us a little bit about that and where that idea came from for you.
Yeah, sure. Well, yeah, I was sort of really fascinated and horrified by the impacts that lockdowns had during COVID-19. We were getting all these news articles about animals returning to their ecosystems and waterways clearing up and CO2 emissions decreasing. And I sort of had this dark thought that an indefinite global lockdown would be a really imperfect way, to tackle climate change in the future, but a really tragic one. So that's kind of the world that Bleach takes place in, a sort of not too distant future where the nations of the world have gotten together and decided to collectively shut down their borders, just like what happened during the 2020 pandemic, and sort of try and recreate that success to tackle our climate change. Yeah.
It was a really weird phenomenon. I had a friend who lived in LA at the time, and she was saying that she could see the ocean for the first time from her house since she'd been there for almost 10 years because there was no smog in LA. And I know even where I live, which is on the country outskirts of Melbourne, we were seeing wildlife around our place that we hadn't seen before. Did you do much research into like the causes and things like that when you were working on this script?
Yeah, for sure. I'm pretty lucky in that my partner is actually a climate scientist. So sort of I would set up my computer next to them while they were doing their work and just ask them all kinds of annoying, questions about rates of warming and whether I was using the right terminology and stuff. So yeah, they were a really, really great resource for me, actually. I was pretty lucky in that way. But there's also sort of all kinds of things that we were hearing that I don't think they ended up being true, like that dolphins were seen in the canals in Venice and stuff like that. So I was sort of like letting my imagination go a little bit as well. Maybe not letting the facts completely.
Yeah.
Not getting in the way of a good story, if you will.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that was actually my next question was going to be, how did you grow that idea into a theatre piece? Like, there must have been a little bit of an evolution there from that original idea to what we are going to see on stage. So what was that process like of turning the idea into a theatre piece that could be performed on stage?
Yeah. Well, I guess I sort of had like a bit of a massive writing block when I was trying to get all this down, and I sort of realized it was because of my environmental guilt, I guess. And but yeah, instead of sort of trying to avoid that guilt, I ended up just really, applying that to the script and giving that guilt to the characters, I guess. And so each character is really exploring a different response to climate guilt in an interesting way. I think that's something that's going to really come out in the performance, like a really human response to our sort of collective guilt, and how difficult it is to act sometimes, and really face look what's going on in the face, so yeah, just trying to keep things as human as possible. Just yesterday I was talking to Ruby, our director, who was saying that she's really leaning into the physical theatre of the piece because she feels it's so human, and so they're feeling it so much in their bodies because it's a very human issue, not just an environmental issue.
Yeah. The characters that we're going to see on stage, were they based on people that you knew at the time, or were they based on people that you saw in the media? How did you come up with the different characters and what their response would be to climate change?
Yeah, sure. I guess a lot of them are sort of based on, because they are people who are traveling the world trying to see all it has to offer them before it's closed forever. So a lot of them are sort of based on the kind of people I would meet while I was traveling, the classic backpacker type, but also combinations of my friends, people I'm close to, and our sort of responses. So there's sort of an interplay between a sort of cliched touristy type and then a more real, deeper, an immediate response to climate catastrophe.
Yeah. Now, for all of our listeners out there, Bleached is on from the 22nd of June to the 1st of July at the Bluestone Church Art Space in Footscray, and then it's on the 14th of July at Bowery Theatre. Laura, what do you hope people take away from this production? Like, what kind of discussions are you hoping that they'll have with their friends and family after they've seen Bleached?
I think I just hope that discussions are had full stop, and that it doesn't have to be a scary, whispered issue. It's something that can be fun and can be talked about openly, and I just want people to talk full stop. That's my main goal.
That is a great ambition to have as well. And for everybody out there again, Bleached is on from the 22nd of June to the 1st of July at the Bluestone Church Art Space in Footscray. It's also on the 14th of July at the Bowery Theatre. Laura, thank you so much for taking the time to chat to us today. It's been an absolute honour having you on the show, and we hope a lot of our listeners will head along and check out Bleached. And if they want to, those dates are all up on our website as well. So thank you so much, Laura.
Oh, amazing. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.